Hello everyone, I'm High Treason. Welcome back to Let's Play The Long Drive. We've got a bus that we can't drive. We've got a car that we now have a new radiator on, so we can drive it. Yes, yes, yes. Oh fuck yeah, it's about fucking time. Well, we want to change car. We're gonna change car. It's not the strongest car, is it? That's definitely the Dacia engine, so we don't need to fiddle with engine swapping. So yeah, we're on the lookout for a new car because we're overdue a car swap now. We didn't see one for like the last 2 parts or something. Now that bus has finally happened, we probably won't see one for another 4 parts. Jeez, man. Yeah, we just don't have much luck on buildings and shit. I mean, we couldn't even find a radiator. Spawns of things do get a... Fucking hell, it's Rabbit Central. Spawns of things do get a lot rarer as we drive farther out. So there's nothing unusual in that, and that's the thing. The game will get harder as we get farther out, so car swaps might actually get farther apart. Dear me. I'm sorry, I might barp a bit in this one. I can't help it, my stomach's playing up, you know. I'd like to be working on music. I can't concentrate enough to do music right now, so... Well, we'll just play this. Still can't believe I've never seen those Harry Potter shades before. Like, you know, all the time I played this game, I mean, I must have like at least 100 hours in this game before starting this. Maybe. Yeah, probably a little over half that. I don't know, actually. This is part 41. Our starting distance is 2175. We'll say we started at 595k. Really? Okay, well, we'll say we started at 595k. Yeah, fuck it. Might as well just say we started at 600. I think this is the farthest we've had one car for. So we need to get to about 650, you know, if we keep this car. I would like to change it. I do like this car, but I'd like to change it just because we've had it long enough. You know, it's time for it to go. You know, we've had it a long time, and we did set limits on these things. And this car's done like double the distance we said we'd do in cars, you know. But I've started going over it anyway just because of the fact that we're making quicker progress. I don't really know what's changed, but we just... As soon as we got rid of that Plymouth, we just started making like much faster progress all of a sudden. And just never really came down from there. Like, really, you know, we started running ahead. Like, I looked back on like part 10 and we were actually behind, like, you know, quite some way on like part 10. I don't remember well, like what, about 460k then? 469? I'd have to look, but yeah. You know, considering we're ahead now, you know, of where we should be. By part 50, like, we should be at 2500k, but yeah, I think we'll get there before part 50, and to be honest, if things go well, we could get there by part 45. I actually think it would be possible. I'm not going to push really hard for that, so we probably won't, and car changing and the fact that we're aiming for, you know, the odds are it's going to be a Trabant or a bus, and we'll have to ditch the bus as soon as we find a mountain, so we're probably going to get slowed down. But we have like 2 parts worth of progress, like, you know, in which we can afford to do that. Really, we haven't fallen behind, to be honest, not that much. Maybe 10 or 20k at most. But yeah, you know, there is no race. I mean, I'd like to do it in less than 100 episodes, or less than 4,500 minutes, which I think is 75 hours. So yeah, if this does come out at about 75 hours, it will definitely not only be the most parts to a playthrough of a game, because I am going all the way to the end of the road. I'm not going to quit on you. Unless something really unforeseen happens that makes it so I just can't do it, Like, you know, say if the game updated in such a way, we're going to go to that workshop, in such a way that made it so my save was invalid, or say if I got sick or my PC broke down or something like that, then they're everywhere. It's like an ambush. What the fuck, man? But there's like loads of shit out here. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that. Where's that workshop? I can't even fucking see it. Have we gone past it? Maybe there ever was a workshop. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. God, that rabbit thing was creepy. Now, you might have not noticed, but the rabbits don't tend to attack at all if you have a running engine. Like, if your car is running, the rabbits generally won't come after you. They might, you know, activate and start towards you, but they will avoid the car. As we get out here, I think it's a bug, because I don't think they're supposed to do it, but as we get further out, yeah, that is a Trabant, certainly, but I don't think we have the parts to build it. Otherwise I would have done it. We probably do need a little bit of oil. We've got loads of gasoline, I think. More than half a tank, so that's loads. For how long this car's going to go for now, we might as well not bother. So yeah, you know, that. But once we get out here, they will go for you, or they'll go for the car when you're not in it, which is... Here's what I mean, I think it's a bug, because I don't think it's how the game's intended to work necessarily, but I don't actually think it's a bad thing, and to be honest, you know, I wouldn't be opposed to the rabbits getting more aggressive as we get further out. And I think maybe they should get more aggressive as you get further out than they do now. Like, I would not be opposed to seeing more aggressive rabbits, as they are. They're actually not all that threatening. Yeah, they're a one-hit kill, but they're easy to outsmart, and as long as your car's working, they're not really going to be that much of a problem for you, you know? So no, I wouldn't be opposed to the dev cranking the rabbits up. Fucking hell, that's pretty close to the road. There's loads of boats out here. I must have seen like at least 4 of them in the last few minutes. Yeah, road goes up, you see it over there on the right. Yeah, we're going down a sort of mountain here, so, you know, we need to be very careful, as we know. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to, like, you know, if the rabbits, like, started spawning in larger numbers out here. They don't seem to lag the game that much. Their AI is pretty primitive. So I think their AI would need a facelift, and that might slow the game down a little bit more, but, you know, it would be nice to find a balance where you would have, like, groups of rabbits would come. And I do think if you stay in an area too long, maybe you should just get loads and loads of them appear, like, you know, like they just start coming in bigger and bigger numbers. If you stay somewhere more than like 5-10 minutes, whatever, they start spawning in. And like they're spawning in already like aggressive, you know, they're already going to come for you unconditionally at that point. Because then, you know, you could deal with them, they're not that hard to kill. But it means you got to fight for whatever you're staying there for. I mean, if you're staying somewhere that fucking long, then, you know, there must be something there you really want. So do you want it that bad? Or are you just going to walk away or drive away? And that would be the problem with balancing it. It'd be balancing it so that, you know, if you're walking down the road, that you don't end up in that situation. Because then it would get annoying. You know, if you were walking and you didn't walk fast enough, that the game, you know, thought you hadn't left the sector, and it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, you're still here, I'm going to just start spawning, like, loads of really aggressive raboids. I suppose the way to do it would be to just spawn, like, well, you wouldn't have to spawn an object, just record the player's coordinates in the world, like every 5 minutes basically, and then just check the distance between the player's current coordinates and the last known one, And you know, if it's still within a certain distance, make the rabbits happen. If it's not within a certain distance, then overwrite the coordinates and wait another 5 minutes, you know, and then we check against those coordinates. But that's probably how I would do it if I was going to put a feature like that in. I'm not a game developer as such. I'm a game mod developer. I have developed games in the past, but never on a game engine like this. I am entirely bound to the build engine. So there's diesel there, there's not a lot of it, but we could take that, because I mean we have gasoline technically. So we could take this, and then if we find a diesel vehicle, that landed pretty decently, didn't it? Yeah, if we find a diesel vehicle, we'll be able to make it work. Unless I actually have some, but I don't. Might have left it a bit too late to continue our story about stupid Lauren. Maybe we'll save that for the next one. Because I'd just finished building it, hadn't I? And all the stupid fucking things. So yeah, I think we'll save concluding that for the next time. I'll leave you wondering what happened. Like, did it fall to bits? Did she use it? Did it get set on fire? Did it explode? You know, did you lose your temper and just kick it into splinters? We will find out. We will find out. No, actually, I've got more time than I think. Do I have enough though? I don't know. I guess it's hard to gauge this. Yeah, we probably have enough, so I might as well just continue. If I have to stretch it into 3 parts, I will. I don't give a fuck. You know, we've talked about enough grotty things in this one, and this does seem to be a bit of a every playthrough ends up with a recurring theme. You know, whether it's death or anal or fucking vomit, I don't know, but I guess that's the one for this one, isn't it? So yeah, I finished building this damn contraption. This, you can't build a toilet because you... And like, I sit there on this storage box staring over at it like, what a fucking monstrosity. It's done now. At long last, it better be done. If she says, oh, that's no good, again, I'm going to slap her in the face. You know, I've had enough. And if she had said it again, I would have just slapped her in the face, thrown the tools at her and been like, why don't you fucking build it? And so I'm sat there thinking, well, I suppose I'll go and get her in a minute and she can complain about something else, no doubt. But she come walking out the house, you know, like, is it done yet? Is it done yet? Is it done yet? I'm like, and the nagging can stop. Yes, it's done. You can stop fucking nagging me. She's like, really? I'm like, yes. Please, you can stop asking. Look, it's done. It's as done as it's ever going to be. I'm not working on it anymore. I've had enough. My hands hurt. I'm tired. She's like, oh, wow, it's really good. I'm like, fucking, yeah, right. Your standards are very low all of a sudden, you know. She's like, wow, that's really good. I'm like, yeah, sure. Now, before she came out, I forgot about this. I've skipped ahead a bit here. Before she came out, I'd been over there and it clicked that I'd never actually tested if you could sit on this thing. And you might remember I said it was rotten wood and fire damaged wood and just a recipe for disaster. And I'd sort of gone to sit on it and there'd been this creak and I'd just changed my mind. You know, it's like, well, no one's ever actually going to sit on there, so what does it matter, right? And even if she does, she's lighter than me. She was quite small, was Lauren. She was like small and slim. You know, wasn't really that much of a problem. But she's like looking at the thing. She's like, can I go in it? Can I use it? It's like, well, if you must, you know, You might as well. I've put that much bloody work into the thing. Almost seems a shame to waste it now, doesn't it? So she just drops her knickers without a second thought. I mean, she's done this in front of me plenty of fucking times. You know, we've known each other for fucking years, so you just sort of get used to things like that. But as she goes to sit, now I get nervous. You know, I'm there thinking, oh, thank fuck, all the hassle's over. And it's like, hang on, but what if it breaks? Like, if it collapses or something, I'll never hear the end of it, you know. She'll have a go at me, everyone else will have a go at me, and it's going to be awful. Oh my god, like, what if it does? And she sits there, it creaks a bit, it didn't break, and it worked, and I was like, oh, thank heavens. Now we just give it 3 or 4 days. She'll get bored of the damn thing, and I can tear it down when she's not here, and use the materials for something better. If only. If only it had gone that way. Like, you know, life would have been much fucking easier. Alas, it did not go that way. It was our new favourite thing in the fucking world. She kept telling me how great it was. I don't even have to go in the house anymore. It's like, yeah, right. Please hurry up and get, like, fed up of it. And then she's like, it needs a door. I'm like, I don't have enough materials to make a door. But it needs one. I can make you, like, a carton out of pond liner if you want. Like, I've got some of that left. I can put, like, eyes through it and run a rod, like, you know, a wooden rod through them. Big, long dowel thing. Or probably 22mm pipe, I think I used, to be honest. And so I spent a few hours doing that the next afternoon. Put this fucking carton there, and within about 10 minutes, she gets up off her chair, walks over to this thing, plonks her arse on it, takes a leak, doesn't shut the fucking carton, and I'm like, what did you want the carton for? So, well, it should have one. I'm like, are you going to actually use it then? She's like, well, no, you've seen it loads of times. So I'm like, what do you want a fucking carton for then? I've just spent 3 hours making that. For fuck's sake. There was never any hassle. Well, like, you know, me and the other lads, it's like, well, the thing's there, we might as well fucking use it, you know. But the problem, we don't fucking sit on the damn thing. We ain't going to bother with the carton because we just have the decency to not look at each other when we're doing these things. We're not fucking interested, you know. But the stress levels start to die down, and it's like, maybe it's alright. Maybe it's fine. And maybe she will get bored of it soon. Like, you know, now the cartons are, there can't be that many things left for her to fucking complain about it. And then when there's nothing left to complain, she won't want it anymore. And there's this, you know, this girl I mentioned that she knew was just Parson, who watched the popular television and listened to the popular music. Like, was round, and like, I wasn't paying much attention, but I hear her kind of like talking to this Lauren. I look over and she's walking in there. I'm like, what the hell's going on? She's like, well, she's just going to have a wee. I'm like, I'm actually not okay with her using this. Like, you know, I'm like, well, it's fine. She's probably about the same weight, so it still makes me nervous though, because I don't know. She might be heavier, but yeah, it's fine. And she didn't come round very often, so it's like, oh, fucking, I'm not that bothered. Now please hurry up and get bored of it, so I can tear it down. And also I'm quite pleased, because this prissy blonde Alice girl hasn't been around for quite a while. And I'm like, well, maybe this thing's good, because it's probably got rid of her, you know, she's seen its approaching completion, and she just hasn't been back, so maybe she's got so disgusting by it that she's not going to come here anymore. And that'll suit me fine, because I don't like her. She's a bitch, she's annoying, she listens to shit music, and she never fucking leaves me alone, so that's good. Good riddance. And then one day, I went in my house to get a drink of fucking water, and I come out, and I just hear, oh my god, Lauren, I can't believe you've just done that. Like, oh no. No. And I just see her turn and start storming up the garden to me. I can't believe you've actually built this thing. It's absolutely disgraceful. Will you just leave me alone? No, I won't, because it's horrible. I'm never going to go in it. Like, good. Well, I'm not. I wouldn't want you to. It'd be disgusting. It is disgusting. Yeah, you're disgusting. Well, I think it's the worst thing I've ever seen. As you've said millions of times. Now go away and go back to annoying Lauren. And she actually did. She went over there. Lauren, I can't believe you've done that. Girls don't do it outside. That's awful. It's disgusting. I can't believe you've done that. That is absolutely horrible. I'm just like, that's it. You lecture her. I'm going to just like walk as far down the garden as I can and find something to occupy myself with. I think she'd been on holiday or something. I never found out. But then, like, the course of the next week, she's there every fucking day. And every fucking day she has a go at me, she has a go at Lauren, and it's never ending. And she starts doing this thing where she'd make a scene where you'd be sat there and suddenly she'd stand up and she'd go and stand sort of halfway between you and the entrance to this thing, pressing her legs into her crotch, like, Lauren, I need a wee, I need a wee. And Lauren would be like, well, go in there then. It was like, no, I'm not going in there, I'm a girl. That was her argument. She was one of those where her argument for anything was, I'm a girl. Which I've never understood how that is like a valid invalidator, you know. And so Lauren's like, well, go in his house then. I'm not going in that house, it's horrible in there. Well, go home then. No, I don't want to, I don't want to walk home. Well, shut up then, you know. It's not that bad, Alice, it's just like, no. Well, yeah, but it's, no, I'm not doing it, it's horrible. And then suddenly, one day, she just fucking went on and on and on about it for ages. And, like, I stepped in with this. It's like, look, you know your options. Go in my house, go in there, go home. No, then piss yourself. I would do no such thing. Well, you kind of run out of options. So you better make your mind up fast, because I will laugh if you wet yourself. It's like, well, I won't. It's like, I should hope not, because I'll make you clean it up. And then she goes quiet, and I just carry on talking to Lauren, you know, like, oh good, she's shut up. Anyway, Lauren, what were you saying about, you know, this movie or whatever? And then another 10 minutes or so go by, and then she just puts in, Lauren, I really need to go. And Lauren's like, well, just go, you know, shut up. Even she lost her temper with her. And it's just like, no! And Lauren's like, well, go home then, just shut up! And this girl sort of stars at this thing, like, for a good minute or so. And I'm like, yeah, now she's going to go home, because that's how it would always end. She'd go home. She'd just, like, go storming off, like, it's bloody horrible round here. You know, go marching back up the 10-foot back to her house. And I was only too glad with this idea, like, you know, yeah, we've got rid of her again. This is, life's looking good now. And I'm waiting for her to stamp her foot. She used to stamp her foot when she lost her temper, and I'm waiting for her to stamp her foot and go marching off. And she's still staring at this thing, she's glaring at it. And all of a sudden she just sort of like looks round, she's like, fine, but don't you dare try to look at me! And goes marching towards the entrance, and I'm just like, hang on a minute, she didn't just say that right. And I'm just staring at the back of her, like, no, it's like, well, she's taller than we are, you know, she was a couple of years, we were still kids, you know, she's a couple of years older than we are. She's got a bit more shape than Lauren does, you know. And I'm like, oh God, like, if she tries to sit on that, she'd probably break it, you know. Like, even if her weight doesn't break it, like, she's bigger, so she probably pees more, you know. What if that breaks it somehow, like. And she pulled the carton shut. It's one of only really 2 times that carton was used. Well, 2.5 times, I guess you could say. Yanks the carton shut, nearly rips it off the fucking thing holding it up, whether it was dowel or piece of scrap pipe, I can't remember. Ah, shit. Shit. Car, stop. It's not stopping. This is too steep for this car. Curtain gets drawn shut, and I'm like, she can't be serious, right? She's not actually going to do this. And I can hear her shuffling around in there. I'm like, it's just it's disgusting. I can't believe doing this under her breath. And I'm just like, yeah, good. She's getting grossed out. She'll stop. She'll stop. It won't happen. It won't happen. It'll be fine. But what if she does? Like, it's going to collapse. She'll probably get splinters up her arse or something. And then she'll really get mad at me. And I'll never hear the end of it. And it's, you know, like, no, she won't do it, she won't do it, she won't do it. And then I just hear this loud as hell creaking from the wood. And then I'm like, oh God, she's actually sitting on this thing. And then everything just goes quiet. Like, there was just sort of this, maybe a second, but it seemed longer, of silence before there was just this towering noise. It was really loud. Lauren starts laughing. It just made me fucking nervous, because it's like, what the hell is she doing? You know? And this goes on for like quite a while. And then I hear her pull on the chain of it, and she comes like sort of stumbling out of it, like looking really dishevelled. Goes walking over to the corner, like she's sort of disgusted under her breath. She drags a chair over to the corner, sits with her back to us. She wrapped her arms round herself and started shivering. She just sat there, proper freaking out. And Lauren's like, "Are you okay, Alice?" She's like, "Don't talk to me! Don't talk to me!" And I'm like, well, on the plus side, at least she won't do it again. You know? Oh, if only life had been that fucking easy. You know, I think you're seeing a pattern here. Every time it's like, well, that's the end of that. It never fucking was. And she sat there shivering in the corner for maybe 20 minutes and then went home. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think she actually wanted to do that. Like, you know, I think she just left it too long with her little attention-seeking game, because she always wanted to be the centre of attention. The thing is, looking back, like, you know, and plus I knew her for a few years after this, I think she probably wanted to the whole time, because she always wanted to be part of the group, but she wanted to be the centre of the attention in the group. And when you knew her, you could tell with a lot of things she wanted to join in with whatever was going on and just didn't seem to know how. Oh shit, my car! Oh, we didn't break anything. Or if we did, it's nothing I'm noticing. But it's like, right, so she won't do it again, and she's got home. Hey Lauren, do you want to go on a bike ride? Yeah, alright, let's go and do that and forget this whole thing ever fucking happened. The next day, I get back from school, Lauren's at my house immediately as always. We go in the backyard, and within 10 minutes this Alice girl shows up. And I'm waiting for her to come and shout at me, because I'm like, she's going to be mad at me about the previous day. She's going to be like, you know, you made me do that, she'll blame me. Like, I'm like, she always blames me, so she'll blame me. And, you know, it's going to be a horrid day. I think I might just pretend I'm ill if this happens. You know, I'll say I've got a cold, and I'll just kick them both off my garden, and, you know, then maybe she'll forget about it by the time I'm not ill anymore. And she comes walking up to me, and I'm like, here we go, here's the lecture. And I look up, and she's got this weird look on her face, like she's... I can't really describe it. It was like oddly sweet is the only way I can think to word it. And she's like, Paul, I'm like, the hell's up with you? She's like, oh, you know, yesterday when you let me go in there, I'm like, no, like I'd yelled at Lauren for letting her do it, because it was her fault, you know. It's like, well, I know I said I thought it was horrible, but it was only because I was worried it might not work because I'm a girl, and well, you've seen Lauren do it, why wouldn't it work for you, you know? I don't know, I just didn't think it would, and I was worried, but it does. Like, it's actually really good, and like, can I use it when I'm here? Like, for fuck's sake, I can't really say no to her now. Like, the bar has been set. And plus the fact, I know if I say no, she'll fucking go on and on at me, so my decision was mostly based on, well, what's going to make her fucking complain at me the most? If I tell her she can't, then she'll get really mad. Oh, but you let Lauren do it. Oh, but you let the boys do it. Oh, but you let Chelsea do it. And it's like, right, okay, well, if I say yes, she probably won't actually want to anyway. So I'll just let her think she's getting her own way on this one. I can't see why not. You know, it's that's what it's there for. I'm just thinking, right, now, please never do. Just like, oh, thanks. I really need to go. Walks over there, pulls the curtain shut. That loud roaring starts again, and I'm just like, oh, God. What? And every time she'd go over there, I'd start biting my nails, because I'm like, it was not built for her weight. She wasn't heavy, like I said, she was just a couple of years older than us. Like, we were probably like, you know, 10, 11, she must have been like 12, 13. You know, there's a far difference in body weight, like, across that age range. But I kind of just got used to it. It's like, well, it's obviously not going to break. I don't like the fact she uses, like, about 1 million tons of tissue every time she goes, but, well, you know, when there's none left, it's her own fucking problem. That's not my problem. I don't need it. I'll make Lauren bring that. I think I did in the end, to be honest. Just made her steal it from her own house. Like, no, I'm not putting any more of that. But the thing is, like, you know, she might have started doing it sooner, I wouldn't know, but I was sat facing that way after about a week of just not being bothered by it. And she walks by, so because there's movement, I look up, she turns, lifts her skirt, drops her knickers, plonks herself over it, looks kind of ridiculous because she's a little bit too tall. You know, it was built to Lauren's height, and like I said, Lauren was short and skinny. You know, this girl's average height for her age. And I'm just like, do you want to close the curtain? She's like, you would have tried to look anyway. I'm like, no, I wouldn't. I'm not fucking interested in seeing that. It's like, well, you would have looked anyway. I'm like, no, I really wouldn't. I don't need to see that. Like, I'm not interested in seeing you do that. Well, I'm not closing the curtain now. So, oh, fine. And it was more the principle of it that I'd spent all this time making this darn curtain, and none of them would use it. I found out that this, you know, the watches the popular music television one would have done. She just didn't know there was a curtain. She moved house anyway, so that was the end of her. So yeah, now even Prissy Alice doesn't shut the fucking curtain, so it's like, it got used twice, this curtain. This was, Lauren, why did you want this stupid curtain? Annoying. Very, very annoying. I don't have much time left, so I'm probably going to cliffhanger you on it, and we'll go back to talking about the game, and then I'll tell you the next bit of the story the next time, because it gets worse. As you said, you might have figured out a pattern here where every time I go, oh, well, this isn't so bad, you know, they'll get bored of it, and then I can tear it down and be over with this fucking nightmare, because it's trying my fucking sanity. Maybe we're just going to drive a UFO, you know. Good God, this is like the weirdest boat I think I've ever seen. That is not on the ground. It's not over the road either. I'm just taking screenshots just because of how unusual that is. But yeah, in the meantime, quite content, you know. It's like, right, I've got used to this. I've got used to it. Alice's slit looks kind of weird. It's almost like she's trying to draw attention to it. It's a lot bigger than Lauren's. I never wanted to see that, really. I mean, I was kind of curious, but I didn't want to see it in that situation. That's kind of gross. I mean, if she just walked up to me and been like, here you go, I'd have looked, but I didn't want to see her doing that. It's like, well, okay, well, it's not breaking, so there is that. She's not having a go at me. Lauren's not having a go at me. That other girl's moved. Yeah. It's not a problem to me. It's not a problem to any of the other lads, so I think everything's going to be alright. Give it another week, and they'll get bored of it. Especially, you know, as the weather's get a little bit colder. Not a lot, but it's not as warm as it was. And then they won't want it, and they'll forget it's there, and I can tear it down when there's nobody around. Oh, if only life had been that easy. But that is one for next time. In the meantime, let's get back to talking about what we do. I think it's, you know, I might as well have been telling this, because not much has happened this part. And it's the unfortunate thing when you're playing a game that's random, and it's kind of unfair. It really is, because like other people who play this played in older versions of the game when, you know, everything was way more plentiful than it is in the version of the game I'm playing. Like, you know, it's not fair on me. It's a good job I don't earn money from this. It really is, because I'd be losing money. I would. Not good. Not good. Luckily I don't earn money from it, so it doesn't matter how shit my videos are. I'm not trying to make them shit, it's not me slacking off, blame the randomizer. Anyway, if it was always talking about lots of stuff spawning, I guess I wouldn't have been able to tell this stupid story. I wonder if anything like this ever happened to anyone else, because, like I said, I know for sure I'm not the only person who's built a thing like this, and in fact, I know for certain, and we'll probably get to that next time, because there's something you maybe wouldn't suspect. Was that a car up there? It is, but it's a 2101. Is it our fate to drive 2101s? I'd feel rotten if I took this 2101 only to find a car at the very next building. I mean, I like the 2101s. It is the station wagon version. What did we drive since our 2101? We drove the Dacia, didn't we? And then we just went on to this. So it still feels too early to drive one of these. It has oil. It has coolant. Like, the thing's practically drivable if we just put gasoline in it. Should we take it? Problem is, I actually have time left. What sort of distance are we doing? If we've done the target distance, I might actually stop here. 650, we've done more than the target distance by about 5k. Probably. What sort of gasoline do we have? What state are the wheels in? It might just be that we take this car. Where's that? I mean, I could swap them. Do I really want another 2101 already? I mean, when did we leave ours? It must have been at the end of the 20s. So it was 2 cars ago. There's not that many types of car in the game. I don't see any more building. Well, that might be a building there. There's probably only a water tower or a bus stop or one of them little gas stations. There's probably something there, but I don't know if the road will go past that. I don't know. It's actually not an easy decision, this. So I probably will end the part. We're about 5 minutes early. But I can't make my mind up. And so my way of doing that without running the timer up is to walk away. There's no rule about me turning the game off and walking away to think about how to play the game. So I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do a manual save. I don't have to rush this time. And then we're going to stop. And I'm going to go away, have a smoke, think about what we're going to do, and then I might come back and record one more part today. That we're up to like 38, 39, something like that. 39. Oh, I need to write on my wall as well. I just pencil on my wall, it rubs off. It's not decorated, so you know, we can do these things. Now I get confused if I do decorate because I'll think it's measurements and I'll cut my skirting boards wrong. So we're at 2230. Which, well, 75 plus 30 is 105, plus 20 is 125. So we are 5k over our target, which isn't a lot, but it's over the target, so I'll consider that a win. We are actually just about up on time. So, yeah, I think it's a good place to leave this one. Am I Treason? Thanks ever so much for watching and listening to the horrible stories of things I did when I was younger and maybe a little bit more stupider. I'd do a better job of building it now. And put a door on it. And I would make it not work if the door was open as well. I'd make like a cover come over it somehow, so it's like, that can't sit there, the door's open, you've got to shut it. But yes, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.